neshitam patati preshitam manaha kena prana prathama praiti yuktaha keneshitam vachamimam vadanti chakshuh shrotram ka udevo yunakti. You all chant along with me. Doesn't matter the meter or the tune. At least let's repeat the words. Let's chant the words. Okay. And you can chant as loud as you can. Let it reverberate wherever you are. Keneshitam patati preshitam manaha kena prana prathama praiti yuktaha keneshitam vachamimam vadanti chakshuh shrotram ka udevo yunakti. So as the verse is titled, this is not in the original text, so it's just given so that you understand what the verse is conveying. The disciple is asking a question. As tradition goes, it is only a dialogue. Even in the Upanishadic times, it's only a dialogue. A student goes with an earnest desire to learn and asks, the master answers. It's a question and answer session, the dialogue. By whom willed and directed does the mind alight on objects? Ineshitam patati preshitam manaha. By whom willed and directed does the mind alight? Patati. Who is it that directs the mind? Preshitam. Kena. Kena, who? Who is that? Who is responsible for the mind to go wherever it goes? Commanded by whom does the primeval prana, the vital air, function? Kena prana prathama praiti yuktaha. Prathama, foremost. Prana is the vital air. Praiti, what is it that makes my vital air function? Kene, again kena, whom? By whom does one utter speech? Keneshitam vachamimam vadanti. Vadanti is speech, speak. Vacham, speak. But who wished? Who willed? Ishitam. What spirit indeed directs the eye and the ear? Chakshushrotram ka udevo yunakti. Devaha is the spirit. Yunakti. What is it that directs the chakshushu, which is the eye? Shrotram is the ear. I don't know if Tinkima is there. I remember mentioning a comment to her the day, the classes, that the question has to be power packed. You get a sense of how profound is the very question, how beautifully the question is coined, the choice of words, the language only tells how prepared the student is. Yes, ma. How prepared, how much qualification the student has even in asking the question. Think ma, समझ में आ रहा है?
जी हाँ. हरिओम गुरुजी.
Yes.
मैं संक्षिप्त में यही कहूंगी. I am not an Upanishadic student as yet. I'm still at chapter 1 of the Bhagavad Gita. So I have to still get to that level.
The fact that you are here and I am teaching Upanishad, we are all Upanishadic caliber. That's all. For this 1 hour, let's imagine we are there at that level. Then every word, every sentiment, every emotion counts and matters, and it pricks us, it pokes us, it penetrates every pore of ourselves. If not now, when would we be able to think of this level? Where is a chance for us to elevate our thoughts to that level? Is there a chance 24 hours of the day, would you be transported to this level? So at least at this point, let us think that, yes, I am that. I don't want to deny Brahman. May there be no disownment of Brahman. Isn't it, ma?
Yeah, what I meant, Guruji, is that to listen, to try and understand, to, internalize, yes. But you know, when there are so many thoughts, to put it all very briefly, I'm practicing. I'm writing 3 questions every day so that I learn how to do it.
Right. But let us play the role well. I'm trying to play the role of a guru as close to the sentiment what was conveyed yugas ago. I know I'm not there, but I need to inject that sentiment of what the teacher is conveying. And I'll do my best to play that role. You play your role as best as possible so that you receive the best, isn't it? It's like we're all in a theater, all on a stage, and we all have to play a role. How well you play the role.
That's
In that sentiment only I'm saying. But apart
yeah.
from noticing how beautifully the question is asked, how when the question, the amount of time you spend on the question, the clarity is seen in the way you present the question. That's all I'm saying. In fact, Haresh would know. In fact, earlier there was a discussion in one of our classes. Robin Williams. You know Haresh? Robin Williams, isn't it?
Yes, Guruji. He's one of the motivational. Oh, Robin is one of the actors. Yes, one of the.
Yeah.
Yes.
Robin Williams is the famous comedian, isn't it?
Yes.
He was
correct.
known for his hilarious roles, outstanding
Yes.
movies, whatever he had done. But yet he had committed suicide due to depression. So when he takes onto the stage, you do not know what is happening to his inner personality, isn't it?
Correct.
You had no clue that he was suffering from that mental disease or mental disorder of depression. And yet he comes onto the stage, he is full of laughter, hilarious. He brings that lightheartedness to your life, to everybody's lives on screen. So it doesn't matter what your life is. I am not interested in your life, man. At least for this 1 hour, put on that role of an Upanishadic student. Nothing short of it. I'm not suggesting that there's anything wrong, please, but I'm only trying to tell on screen when we are on this subject matter, let there be charge, let there be that energy, let that energy pulsate. So the question is, so by the very question, what do you understand is that the student is well grounded in Vedantic study. He has got all the fundamentals. Now, one style of the Upanishads you must understand, they don't expand themselves. They are, in other words, they are Kanjus Marwadis. For those of you who don't understand, I'm very sorry to any Marwadi who's here, but the slang, Setharamanji, please clarify so what this slang mean. Why do they call Kanjus Marwadi? I don't think it's applicable to everybody. Stingy, they're very stingy. But am I right to say that?
Yeah. That slang is used.
Slang is used, nothing against a particular community or an individual, isn't it? So why am I saying that here? These Upanishadic masters are very Kanjus people.
Because you use a few words.
Very sparingly they talk, very few words. And that is the style of the Shastras. The style of the Shastras is they mention one to mean the whole.
Very
So when
precise.
they, sorry, Ji?
Very precise.
Very precise. Very precise and very short, very cryptic. They don't expand it. So it is for us to expand and understand. Now, when they use the ear, what does ear mean? Ear or eye, what does it mean? Setuji.
Listening, Shravanam, and seeing.
Okay, remove the word ear. What does eye mean?
Eye means looking at.
Okay, no problem. I know you're looking at me, almost staring at me, so I got the message. What does I mean? All the answers which is coming from the group are wrong. Huh? Ashama, what is my body language? Body language of the Guru. Ashama, boliye. All right, Shantima, what do you understand? No, Ashama, I don't think it conveys that. Shantima,
Focus, Guruji.
the question is, in the verse says, what spirit indeed directs the eye and the ear? So when the words eye and ear are used, what is it conveying? In fact, rightly said, Hariji has rightly said it. In fact, Padmini Ma has just clarified. Saras also has said correctly. It refers to the 5 organs of perception: the eyes, ears, nose, tongue, and skin. I've just given you a cue. The cue, they talk apart to mean the whole. They don't want to expand all of them. So just mention one. Conjuice. As I said, very little. They're very miserly in their words. They will use one word, you have to understand the rest. Whom will the speech originate? Vacham. Speech refers to organs of action. Speech is an organ of action. So in effect, he's saying by using the word I and speech, he's only asking, what is it that enlivens my body to perceive and act? I'm constantly perceiving. My eyes see, my ears hear, my nose smell, so on and so forth. What enables them to act? By whom willed does speech originate? What spirit indeed directs the eye and ear? What is that God, that spirit that enlivens them? No, the speech is an organ of action. The 5 organs of action are hands, feet, speech, organs of evacuation, and generative organ. These are the 5 organs of action. You need to know all these fundamentals. So when I say the student has asked this question, it's understood the student knew all this. The 5 organs of perception are eyes, ears, nose, tongue, and skin. That you know. Their job is to perceive the world. Organs of action are hands, feet, speech, organs of evacuation, and the generative organ. So these are the 5 organs of action. So they are using one word each to mention the collective 5 respectively. By whom? Endowed by whom? Endowed by whom? Does the prana, the vital air, commanded by whom? Does the prana, the primeval vital air function? Now Vasantama, when he says prana, what does he mean?
Yes. Volumes, I think they're in the same room.
Yeah.
One minute.
When he says prana, I think it is the vital force which is keeping us alive.
Ama, but the question is, commanded by whom does the primeval prana function? So you are thinking it is the prana that keeps you alive, isn't it? But the question is, what is it that ensures the prana itself is functioning, without which the prana doesn't function? See, I'm breathing now, it's pranayama, sort of act, I'm breathing. You may say, I'm alive because I'm breathing. There's life, there's vitality, there's vigor. But the question is, by who is it that commands that prana to function?
The Brahman.
Don't give the answer next to us. But the question I'm asking is, when he used the word prana, what does he mean? Like I asked the question, when he used I, he meant all the 5 organs of perception, correct? When he says speech is the 5 organs of action. Now the question is, when he uses prana, what does it mean? All the 5 pranas, isn't it? I'm just going in the same line of understanding the terms used in the question. So when he used the word prana, it means the 5 pranas. And what are the 5 pranas? Okay. Rajima, what are the 5 pranas?
Guruji, I know just a couple of them. Prana, apana.
I know you also very close to Upanishad master. No, you also speak very little. Gayatrima, Oz. Huh? Hey, don't have to practice Oz here, ma. Rajima, why have you quickly muted yourself? What is going on?
Sorry, Guruji. I thought the question had moved to Gayatri Ma.
No. I'm only getting her opinion on Oz. That's all. I don't know whether she knows Oz.
Guruji, is Udana one? I'm not so sure, Guruji.
Yeah, the 5 pranas. Yes, you're right. Gayatri, any idea? What are the 5 pranas?
No, Guruji.
All right.
I've written somewhere, yet to read.
Oh, somewhere you've written? No. Yeah. Saras, any idea? What are the 5 pranas? See, this is the difference between Upanishad student and us. In the question itself, he knew everything. Can't hear you, Saras. Pa, Tirupati, show yourself, Pa. Inga Pani. Pa, Namaskaram, Pa, Tirupati. Periyal Pani. Tirupati is a very dear student from Malaysia. Good to have you after a long time. Where is your altar?
Altar in the heart, sir.
Huh?
Inside. Shall I open?
No, Venda. You know, there are these two fellows. This fellow and there's another fellow called Balaji. So these 2 fellows come now, philosophy all gone out of the window. So Tirupati is, you know, the location. Balaji is the sanctum of the Lord. So these 2 fellows come, it's all Galata only. All Galata time we'll have. Solupa, what are the Chapandi? Chapandi, what are the 5 pranas, Tirupati?
Prana, apana, udana, yana, and samana.
Correct. The 5 physiological functions are: prana is perception, apana is excretion, samana is digestion. Okay, in the order, if you want to take it, it is the prana is perception, Samana is digestion. Vyana is circulation. Apana is excretion. And Udana is thought absorption. The 5 physiological functions. I repeat, prana is perception. Samana is digestion. Vyana is circulation. Apana is excretion. And Udana is the thought absorption. So these are the 5 physiological functions that happen in the body. Prana, Samana, Vyana, Apana, Udana. So when he uses endowed, commanded, by whom does the primeval prana vital air function? He's asking, who is it that drives all these functions to happen meticulously? Without you being aware, the food is being digested, isn't it? Srinivas Garu, are you doing it? You ate the food and slept. Who is it that is responsible for the food being digested?
It's samana, function of samana.
Samana. Then the food which is digested is circulated. Who's doing it? You may say, oh, that process is known as Vyana.
Vyana.
And then there's also excretion. Who is doing it? You may say it is the process of Apana. But what is the student asking here? Sir, who is it that commands all these pranas to function? Even in your sleep, your perception, prana is going on. Even for a minute or half a minute, the prana gets choked. You and I may not be alive. Isn't it?
Yes.
No, you are able to conceive the depth of the question.
Yes.
It's not the answer, please. Answer is stale. Like answer is, we think Brahman is just another word in our dictionary. Brahman, Atman. We don't understand the depth of the answer because we are not attuned to it. But you must at least understand the gravity of the question. He's asking, who is it that is commanding these pranas to function without my knowledge? I am not doing it. I'm not conscious of it. I don't do it. They're all involuntary functions, the physiological functions. Who is it that is commanding them? Who willed does these pranas function? Outstanding. The depth of the question is very, very potent. You feel the gravity of the question.
Yes.
Are you able to relate to the intensity of the question?
Yes, yes, Guruji.
I'm attempting, please. I'm just trying to attempt to bring that sentiment. It's not to rush into the answer. We should not rush. Just pause and examine how heavy each word is. It's pregnant with meaning. Each word is so heavy. It carries such deep. It's very potent.
Yes, Guruji.
I hope you are able to relate to it. And then he says, Keneshitam patati preshitam manaha. By whom willed and directed does the mind alight on objects? Jama, think of the Statue of Liberty.
Okay.
Where is Statue of Liberty?
New York.
Okay. Think of Taj Mahal.
Yes, Guruji.
Where is Taj Mahal?
In Agra.
In Delhi, in India, in Agra. The question is, who willed and directed does the mind alight on its objects? The objects I said was the Statue of Liberty, Taj Mahal. The fraction, it doesn't, how long does it take for the mind to go to that object?
Instant, Guruji.
Instant, almost as a flash. who is it who is commanding and directing the mind? No answers here. Just ask that question. The problem is we don't ask questions like these. We all seem to have ready answers. We are only looking for answers, but the accent should be on questioning. That's the whole objective. Don't go for answers. Answer, you may know, you know it, but it's just empty answer. I'm sorry to say that, but we don't have the gravity. But the question gives that, the depth, what we all should seek. Now, when they say the mind, what does it mean?
My mind is the storehouse of.
Hari Om, come back to the focus. The focus, come back to the thought flow. When I said I, it meant the 5 Jnanendriyas. When I said speech, it means the 5 Karmendriyas. When they say prana, it meant the 5 pranas. Now, when they use the word manaha, what does it mean?
Mind, intellect, Guruji.
Correct. It means the mind and the intellect. Correct. Manas and the buddhi, collective. So they only use again the same. You're just trying to think along. So the language they're using is collective language, the mind and intellect, manas and the buddhi. So what is it that drives the mind and the intellect to function? What is it? So when you take all what the student has asked in the question, the student is asking about the 5 koshas. He has captured all the 5 koshas, the 5 sheaths, which I'm sure you're familiar of. Harish ji, you have an idea what are the 5 sheets we're talking about, sir? Which is what all this is. What are the 5 sheets, sir? At least 1 or 2 you should know. No idea? Kosha in Sanskrit. Kosha means a sheath. Sheath is something which covers the, when something covers something, it's called a sheath, isn't it? Who knows what are the 5 sheets? Srinivas Garu, Chapandi.
Guruji, one is the Annamaya Kosha, Jnanamaya Kosha, Manomaya Kosha. I think that 2 more are there.
Okay, no problem. Now, if you go with the order, if you take the Atman to be the very epicenter, the very core of your personality, there are 5 layers around the Atman. You're able to visualize what we are saying. There is the Atman in the core and the 5 layers or vestures that's covering the Atman. So what is the innermost core layer covering the Atman? The innermost layer covering the Atman, correct Shivaji, it is called Anandamaya Kosha. Now why is it, what does Anandamaya Kosha refer to? Arunama, any idea, do you know why is it called Anandamaya Kosha?
It refers to the bliss sheath, the sheath that gives you the ultimate happiness.
No. The
ultimate
happiness.
No, it's before that, before you reach the Atman, the bliss sheath.
Not at all. Not at all.
But it refers to the bliss sheath, isn't it, Guruji?
It is called, right. The Anandamaya means it is the bliss sheath.
Yeah.
But why is it called Anandamaya Kosha? It's not because
Can
it is the penultimate state of the Atman. It is not that. Yes, you can give it a try. Why is it called the bliss sheath?
The seat of happiness. That's what I understood.
Yeah, again, you're just using another word for bliss. But you need to know why it's called the bliss sheath. Okay. Anybody else? Harishji, you want to try? Looks like I've started some thought process.
Because bliss is our ultimate reality, is our true self. And therefore, that is what you're referring to as the sheath which covers this ultimate, that your true self is pure bliss.
That is the nature of the Atman. But it is the sheath which is covering it. It is not the nature of the Atman. We are talking of a sheath. It is something other than the Atman here. This is something other than the self. My question is, why is it called a bliss sheath? Usha, Suresh.
Just try, Guruji.
No, you next time onwards, you smile and talk. I'm going to block you. I told you
the joy we are in the Upanishad class, Guruji.
Correct. Absolutely. Please let it radiate.
In deep sleep, it's the bliss shield. So the vasanas are dormant.
Can you explain yourself for others? You're right. Absolutely right. Can you explain why is it called a bliss sheath?
It is the state of deep sleep where our thoughts and vasanas lie dormant.
Correct. When your vasanas are dormant, when the vasanas are in the state of vasanas are state of unmanifestation. Remember this. Vasanas are an unmanifest state. So when vasanas are in a state of vasanas, which is no manifestation, that is a state of deep sleep, or what you call as dreamless sleep. And when you experience the dreamless sleep or deep sleep, you experience a certain quietude. That quietude experience in a dreamless sleep or deep sleep is because your vasanas are dormant, they are not manifesting. It's a temporary state we all go through, and the bliss you experience is akin to the bliss you attain upon realization. Therefore, it is called a bliss sheath, but it is not the bliss to be mistaken of the Atman. It's not the bliss of realization, but it is experience you get is that quietude because nothing is there. The vasanas are asleep. So the moment the vasanas are, Tirupati, when the vasanas are partially manifesting, who are you?
Partially manifesting. I am in this world.
Half Tirupati, yeah?
Awake.
Full manifesting, full Tirupati. Not manifesting, no Tirupati. Yeah,
Yes. Dream state maybe. Yeah.
So when your vasanas are partially manifesting, who are you? Correct, Cheppavu. Your vasanas are partially manifesting, who are you?
I have my mind and
No. When you're partially manifesting, you already answered the question. When you're partially manifesting vasanas, you are the dreamer. You are the dreamer. You become the dreamer. When your vasanas are not manifesting, you become the deep sleeper. Now, in contrast to deep sleep, dream state is, how do you describe dream state in contrast to deep sleep?
unreal.
Right. Deep sleep real, huh? Huh?
Deep sleep is not real in the context of the ultimate reality.
Now you all
I mean,
got an
contrast.
idea what kind of brilliant students I had in Malaysia. It used to be, and I used to look forward for these classes, enterprising. No. Tirupati, I'm asking, okay, now you got the point that deep sleep we said as bliss sheath, isn't it?
Yeah.
Now, in contrast to that, when you experience a sleep with dreams, how would you describe that?
It is the Manomaya and Vijnanamaya as coming.
No, I'm not still going to the koshas. I'm only trying to tell the dream state is a disturbed sleep, isn't it?
Yes.
In contrast to the dream, deep sleep is sound sleep. I'm only trying to still justify why is it called a bliss sheath.
Okay.
When we go to sleep, we experience a realm of no dreams. That is why it's called bliss sheath. Just because you sleep doesn't mean you're experiencing deep sleep. Understand that. There are moments you may slip into deep sleep. In fact, it is a blessing if you slip into sleep and you have no dreams. It's a blessing. I don't know how many of you have that experience of dreamless sleep. And you would know when you have dreams, it disturbs. It's like being haunted. You don't wake up refreshing. It's a disturbed sleep. All right. I just want to mention it. Perhaps I'll come back and take it up again. The 5 koshas, the Atman be the center, the innermost layer which covers the self is known as the Anandamaya kosha. Anandamaya kosha is known as the causal body or deep sleep. The next layer, the second layer is known as the Vijnanamaya kosha, which is the intellectual sheath. Then the Manomaya kosha, which is the mental sheath. Then is the Pranamaya kosha, which is the vital air sheath. And the outermost, the 5th sheath is the Annamaya kosha, which is the physical body. Annamaya is called the physical body because it is the Annam that maintains the body. If your body is healthy, it's because you're eating healthy food. You eat junk food, your body becomes a piece of junk or garbage. So the Annam you eat defines your body. So these are the 5 sheets which cover the Atman. And the question the student has asked captures all the 5 koshas. Who is it that is enabling all these 5 koshas to function? What spirit that directs all these, energizes all the Annamaya kosha, Pranamaya kosha, Manomaya kosha, Vijnanamaya kosha, and Anandamaya kosha? What is it that is responsible for these to function? Kena. Question is by whom? By whom? By whom? The student is pounding the question on the Guru. Let's chant the question once, followed by the invocation, and we'll conclude. Keneshitam patati preshitam manaha kena prana prathama praiti yuktaha keneshitam vachamimam vadanti chakshushrotram ka udevo yunakti. Harishji, before I chant the Shanti mantra, can you share, or if Gatriba can share, can you share the final PDF of the verses in the chat box so people can download it at their end? I don't think that was done today, isn't it? The revised and the final one. If you could share it with the chat box so you all could have access to it so you can practice the chanting. Chanting has already been sent to you all before the first class. So you will have access to the chanting, you'll have access to the text and the translation. So you could, yeah, there you go. So please download it before the class ends so that I think it's just a click of a button, it will be there in your system. Okay. Om Purnamada Purnamidam Purnat Purnamudachyate Purnasya Purnamadaya Purnamevavashishyate. Om Shanti Shanti Shanti. Hari Om. Shri Gurubhyo Namaha. Hari Om.